true. Yeah, I do agree with you. It's true. I will not deny that. But like I said earlier, I came up here apologetically, and I'm still in that mood. You understand? And I'm not trying to cause any strife, right? Or not trying to make you triggered in any way, shape, or fashion. And my presence here is just a level of participation where I believe I have something I can contribute to the conversation at hand.
OTW, did you just completely miss what just went on? It was Gaslight Central.
I know.
Whenever Jack does what I do, what they say I'm doing, right? They'll say I'm doing something that I'm not doing. But when he actually does what they say I'm doing that I'm not doing, they say, it's great, Jack, you just did that. And he says, that's my divine feminine. Yelling and screaming, casting judgment, being divisive, right?
I was practicing patience.
And he doesn't do it very much, and you do it all the time. So it's a balancing act for the individual.
Really? Because we have like hundreds of clips of him doing it. So you're gaslighting again? Or like, because we have a record, right? You can't get away from the record. Like Jack Talcott's only known for 3/4 of the audience for being angry cot, someone who acts like Hitler. Do you think he got the? I gave him that reputation, right? I did that, right? I forgot. That was something I did again. Sorry, silly me.
Paul, you were a big part of that.
Talflix did that. I and Talflix did that. You're right.
Helping to create.
You totally weren't the conversation piece. You weren't the content, right?
It was a group effort, and I accept.
Yeah, you being the star of the show. Unknowingly.
Jack, you're responsible for yourself. I don't believe in that either.
I'm oh my goodness. Actually, I didn't pay attention. Hank, thank you again. Some ways, Paul is better than Jack under pressure.
I'm better than Jack at everything. Why stop that?
In other ways, Jack is better at perhaps
walking,
overcoming the pressure.
Yes.
Avoiding the pressure, but that doesn't sound right because I don't avoid pressure. I'll walk.
You're better at forgiving.
I've had plenty of practice. Thank you.
Hey, Jack, how are you?
Tarek and
good.
Sean, welcome. And
I would like to say something whenever you're clear.
Please feel free.
All right. So here's the thing I have against Paul lately, and not against him, but that's kind of like disappointing to me. Is I stand with Paul on a lot of things, and you all know that, right? And he should know that.
Weird.
Yeah, I do. But lately he's been hating and saying things about me, whatever the case may be. The question for Paul is, I'm sure he has a mentor, right? Like he's doing the Tao, and he's all about the way and the path and being peaceful and leading people to a better world, right? This is where I think that he's way off, where he's attacking, for example, any woman. It doesn't matter if it's Cynthia or Venus or whoever it is. Is your mentor, Paul, whoever that is, or God, proud of you the way you speak about the women, the way you speak about them? For what? Your ego? To win a conversation, to win a battle? Is that what it's all about? This is my question to Paul. Why are you going all the way out and being disrespectful to women, period? You can shove that up your ass, Paul, too.
What the fuck happened? Hey, Tarek, ain't you the one always be giving shit about how much you love Paul?
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, he's always preaching, and I stand with him on a lot of things. This is what kills me. But why are you attacking people that way when you're all about the way and respect and love and how to be good and get the community together? Is your mentor, I'm sure you had one.
I don't think he has one.
No, he did say before he had somebody that mentored him and that he went through. Is he proud of you the way, like, let's just say he went back and told his mentor, yeah, I just, said this about Cynthia, this about Venus, whoever it may be. Is he going to say, oh, I'm proud of you? Because if he is, then we're all not with you, period.
Tarek, I think the first thing that needs to be stated is that he's not a man of morals and values. And that's evident in the way that he treats people. And it's evident in the way that he speaks to people. So you can't expect somebody who lacks to be on that level because they're not there and they're never going to be there. I don't value what he says about me, and it doesn't mean nothing to me.
Please stop. I stepped away, and Paul, before I bring Paul back up to speak, okay, Tarek, I actually agree with what you're saying, and Paul, there's something to be said about claiming honor, and yet I understand you don't separate, you don't have a bias.
No, you're talking about chivalry. That's not honor. Honor is about equality. I call him a broken hoe right now, just like I'll call these other broken bitches of the female persuasion broken hoes.
I knew
because
that
one would have to ask.
You're a broken hoe, Paul.
One would have to ask why somebody. One would have to ask why somebody who paid me and sucked my feet for so long and took my name would now all of a sudden make all these comments here and not on my broadcast where they were found so often. So you guys just found yourself your newest broken hoe member. Club member. Welcome him. Let's go around the room, everyone.
I'm sorry to do that, but that was the other thought I realized is what Tarek was doing, what was happening was showing what Paul had been saying was happening, that this was, a place where everyone gathers to complain about Paul.
That's kind of karmatic. He got up here and complain about everyone. It's a little bit of karma.
I mean, that's the topic of tonight. Let's not act like it's not.
Yeah, he said on his panel and talk crap about me.
No, Jack, yeah. Can I answer that question back to Paul? He said, why didn't I go on his panel? I contributed, whatever the case is. Paul, again, I still stand on the truth that you say. I still contribute so much, whatever. I don't even care about that, right? The only thing that I'm disgusted with, and you keep saying that hoe, whatever, broken hoe, is why, as a man of honor, are you going after women and disrespecting them in so many ways?
Is Paul still here?
No.
But Tarek, that's why you're confused. You're defining it wrong.
Okay, go ahead, define it.
Just a man. You said of honor.
Yeah.
You should. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, everybody has their perspective. I still think he's brilliant. He's got a great mind, whatever the case may be. Now, he's getting his feelings lately.
From honor.
Yeah, I know. No problem. He's getting his feelings lately, attacking me. I said nothing. I've not been on panels. The only man on this fucking panel that never said a single fucking thing about a woman and had respect for her is TML. That's period. Even though sometimes I meet a single with him. I never heard TML ever call any women bitches and talk about their private parts or you're fat. Never did that. That's a man that has respect for everybody.
Have I done that? Probably.
Yeah, you're a little bit, you know how you are. I mean, you're doing it for your you're calculating, you do it because you want reviews, no problem. But if you go back to honorable, like Paul said, he's honorable, then that would be the way to do it, like TML does it. It doesn't matter what the thing is. I don't care if Cynthia disrespected you, right? You're the man. You're supposed to.
So am I going to get to respond and actually bring some entertainment? Dare I want to have some fun, as Jack says? Or am I going to keep getting thrown in the back?
How about I do this?
Wow, you finally got with it like 2.5 hours in when we've done this 300 fucking days in a row. You're like so swift. You're Mr. Swift.
I'm
and I'm trying to help you out for a year. You don't get it.
I know. I'm getting it.
So we can get back to the moment. Again, you're confused again, boy. Tarek, you're confused. You don't know what honor is. That's obvious. You think honor is being inequitous. Everybody's entitled to the same criticism and critique, barring whatever their genitals are, okay? Their genitals don't come into the situation. So you are a simp. That's why you sit in chat constantly defending a bunch of women and what they're saying. And I am, well, you know what I am, right? And we're going to do the Three's Company episode coming this next 2 weeks to really get you fucking beta male haters in your feelers. Because it turns out women want a real man, not a simp.
Whenever you're ready, let me respond.
Why don't you show me all the women in your life right now who are happy with who and what you are, your understanding? Or are you just another broken beta male talking about your feelings online with a bunch of other beta boys?
Okay, no problem. Let me respond. I'll let you talk. Let me speak for a second. I always said exactly what I said earlier. I stand by a lot of things you say that are truth, and I always will, right? It has nothing to do with simping. And you said, okay, woman talks, whatever, you're allowed to talk right back. I don't agree with that. I think that's disrespectful. to actually go that
right, because
low.
you got your mama's spirit. You think to
No,
talk to
that
a
has
woman
nothing to
back the
do
way
with it. Why
you
would you
think to
want
talk to a woman back or deal with her the way she deals with you is dishonorable. As if I put hands on anybody, as if I cause harm to anybody. No, that's equity. We're all one in spirit. We have a body. The body does not create a division from who and what we are, what we think, feel, and speak. And you don't get special privileges and favors because you're born a damn woman. You're a simp and a trick. Get over it. And they don't respect you.
Hey, the same applies to men. You're right. The equity. There's no superiority or.
Yes.
If you go to a court, we'll do the court simulation. It's a good analogy every time. If you go to a court, a woman's going to get right up on the fucking court bench like Jennifer. She's going to ask me 10 questions and she's going to break my bitch ass down and humiliate me if I go to playing games. And the same process is going to happen if I get up on the bench and she takes the stand. It's same.
Right. Well, you got to recognize what Tarek is offering, though, too. Okay, about even if there's equity, being able to overcome, being able to rise above, and
what does that mean exactly? Pretend that you're not frustrated about looping and cycling incessantly with no clarity.
Somewhat, actually. Hey, pretending, yeah.
Yeah, you want to pretend. I don't.
Sometimes
you got your mama's spirit and tell mama she don't look fat in the dress. The bitch is fat. I'm not playing games and I'm not pretending. You want to pretend, go do a stage show.
Okay, but pretend, hold on 1 second, Paul. You said fat and not fat, right? No problem, fair game. She called you fat, you call her fat, no big deal. But to sit and talk about her private...
No, you're not getting it. Stop right there, simp creature, and your ego, and weak ego, too.
There is
not
no
even
ego,
strong,
Paul.
super
No
ego.
You're the one that's being emotional.
Fat. We are both fat. I'm going to testify here right now on the record before God. There's no calling each other anything. We're both overweight. Get over it.
I already know that, but why go to the park? No. Why go to the park when you gotta fucking talk about a woman's vagina and her walls and being mad disrespectful? That's not honorable.
Change it or get over it.
Change it, dumbass.
Hey, dumbass.
And you having her shit in your mouth.
Do you know where you are right now? Now, little bitch boy, let's have a conversation.
You're not being honorable, Paul.
Both, please, Tarek. When we both speak over each other, I mean, you're both passionate and you're both right in your way.
He's passionate about being a dumbass, like many people online.
Paul, there's ways to resolve, and honestly, we can overcome this combative pattern, and that's I think what Tarek is kind of getting at. Even though
I fucking love you, brother, and everyone else here. I don't know why the fuck that even just happened.
Right.
This kills me, Jack. I love the guy. I stand by almost everything he says, right?
No.
Nothing. Everything he says, almost I agree with it. But when it comes to tell him something that he's doing wrong, his fucking narcissistic.
I'm not doing anything wrong. You're wrong again, simp ass trick. I didn't do anything wrong. Shut him up. Shut him up. I can't handle the tard. The tard overload. I can't handle it. I'm gonna jump out the window, Jack. Help me. Save me.
Tarek.
I didn't cause any loss, injury, or harm. Therefore, I didn't do it wrong. I pointed out how we're harming ourselves by being fat.
Okay, but
the fact that you ignore the self-harm we're doing to ourselves in favor of your egos while you're going to remain fat and probably die of a heart attack along with me. Stupid, simple motherfucker. Stop padding everyone's ego and trying to bullshit ourselves and each other. Doesn't work for any of us.
Take a breath.
You'll have no problem calling me a fat junkie, but you want to pad her fucking ego instead of tell her close her fat mouth. Not only to stop speaking, to stop eating. Fat bitch.
Talking about
down. I'm not sure. There's probably a few faces.
Just keep it all the way real, and we won't have this type of passion flare up. Just keep it all the way funky and real.
Right. So let's come back to where we were. Okay. There was the claim made, Paul, that when it comes to feedback on what is perceived as opportunities to do better, maybe it's not wrong, right?
That's it, Jack. You're fucking on it now.
Yes, thank you. Because
I'm gonna rub your fucking knees by the end of this. Got a lot of fucking energy in me tonight, a lot of passion. I got to work it out some way.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're doing beautiful. But sincerely, I appreciate this. These are adult conversations being had, right? About
Nah, badly, very
hey,
badly.
Terrible showing. If that's what you were going for, terrible showing. I gotta say.
clumsily, there are adult conversations being had. There are relationships here, whether we fucking recognize them or not. There is some care and attachment, especially between those who join the panels.
Right. The presumption is that Paulie Boy doesn't care about any of these people, every member of the broken beta male resentment panel. The truth is, I spoke from a place of care about a truth I saw because someone was falling short in their life, I perceived.
Well, yeah, you've got a way of seeing the shortcomings, Paul, but
I have a way of seeing the potential as well. Have you seen what I've done with you and your character more than you could do with it?
How about your character, Paul? Talking about people's pussy and wall and vagina.
Here we go, broken. Is his vagina swollen? Does he want to box me soon because he's in his feelers because of what I said about a woman? Does Mr. Chivalry want to get in the ring with me at 65 years old now after he's paying me and fanning me into
I'm not angry.
It's always the same crap with you people. It's always the same crap. Get out of your feelers. You're talking about a woman and you're simping so hard. Soon, Cynthia's going to go back around and bond with me over you.
No, Cynthia will never bond with you. That will never happen.
Well, that's true. You're not mature enough to go past your feelers. I forgot.
I'm trying
Sorry.
to ask Tarek a question.
okay.
Like,
Right.
Tarek, do you feel like his character, this is his character, or this is Paul in anger?
No, I know when Paul's in anger, I believe. I know he likes to, let me tell you something. He's brilliant. He's a visionary. He knows how to do the bit non-bit.
Thank
And I'll
you.
give you an example. No, hold on. I'll give you an
That's kinda
example
nice
how
of you to
brilliant he is, right?
Didn't expect
He
that.
talks about, for 1 second, let me speak, Paul. He talks about today about how, he brought Jack and maybe, Jack became whatever, right? Let's just say, for example, Paul, that no Jack, no Paul, no Flow State, no fucking TML, nobody but your show. Do you think your show will do better or worse, punk?
No, but I'm asking you, is this his character? Hang on,
Did he
Tarek.
just ask me a question or
No, he didn't
how does that
answer my
work?
question,
You
Paul.
asked a
Like, be
question
an adult and
about
let
me.
somebody
He
ask.
asked
Like, let us
Jack, could you put something in your mouth, please?
Jack, he didn't
And
answer
you
my
keep
question.
muting me.
No,
Why do
Cynthia,
you
that has to do something with your
Why
question.
do you keep muting and throwing me
Shut
out?
the fuck up, Paul, you stupid.
Jack, why do you
dumb,
keep saying you want to
dumb
work with
bitch.
me, but then when I come over here, muting and throwing me out?
I don't believe
He asked a question about me. He asked me a question. Do I get to respond in kind?
Can we?
Why can't Paul not be an adult?
Yeah, you're confused again, Jack. You can't see what's going on in the room. Your emotions are in the way, I guess.
I saw Tarek bring it back into an attack. Okay.
No, there's no attack. We're clarifying. You're so toxic feminine. You can never let men hash anything out without getting in your feelers.
Finish. Like, I wanted to
Got
finish.
that mama
Look,
spirit
Tarek,
of yours.
Tarek.
No, guys, stop it. Then you get knocked out like you did on the street that day. Because you wanted to get in the way of other people's shit. Just
why?
Whoa, take a breather. Fucking smoke a joint, for God's sake, all right?
Yes,
Tarek. So what I
Yes.
wanted to ask, so you didn't answer my question. Is this are you thinking that this is his character? When you see this type of behavior, do you view it as his character or him just in a moment of anger or fit and lashing out?
No, I believe he does play a character sometimes, but I also believe he's angry. He does get emotional, and he gets in that, rage, like almost like Tommy, but he's more controlled, right? But the thing the reason why I asked the other question to him is not to avoid your question. There's a reason why I asked it, Cynthia. I am the dumbest guy on the panel, I agree, but believe me, I have a gift that probably nobody knows what it is. Let Paul answer that question. If there was no Jack, no TML, no Flow State, no show, would his fucking show do better or worse?
And that's
my
the
question.
problem.
It would
You
be
just
better. It would be
we
better.
can't
if he
answer it
wasn't
again.
talking
Oh, we
about
almost
other
got
people.
there.
His show would be better.
It's Tart Central. I had something to say. I had a feeling. Gobble, 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 gobble. I had a feeling.
I think we all know the answer to that question.
I
No,
can't
I wanna
even
hear
answer
it from
any of
his
all the
mouth.
questions about Daddy because they keep yapping over me and you keep blocking me and throwing me out.
I know.
Do you see how sick and twisted you all are, and how I must be sick and twisted too to even be here? Are you kidding?
Bro,
I literally just turned to Jennifer and said, why do I even do this? She had to answer it for me. She had to give me a moment of clarity. I go, why do I do this to you and I?
It's because you care.
I know, and you keep saying I don't, throwing me out while everyone else who doesn't care yaps over me. It's fascinating.
I know. Let
it's revealing of who and what you are, Mr. Talcott.
There is a reason, Paul.
There's always a reason for your bullshit. Ask your wife and child who's gone and won't come back. There's always a motherfucking reason for your bullshit.
Good deflection. You'll ask them when they're present, but you.
I know.
Yeah, they won't show up. We've all tried to get in contact with them. They want nothing to do with you. I wonder why.
For God's sake, answer the question.
All right, bro.
The question is, it's already been answered. It's on record. My broadcasting career or my channel was doing way better before I ever introduced panels of tards. So go check the record.
All right. So here's the other question. There's a follow-up question. That's why I asked it, Paul.
Make it good.
Oh, it's good. Don't worry. It's going to go real deep in your ass. So hold on a second.
Yeah, you already made yourself look like a fucking dumbass 2 or 3 times already. So this should be real good.
Smoke a fucking joint and relax, for God's sake.
Smoke
the second question
while you keep riding it before you're hating on it.
You're very fucking brilliant. I'll give you that.
They're
and I'm always
fans
with you on
before
that
they're
one.
haters. They're always paying.
No, they always
I'm not hating.
you can only hold it for so
They're
long.
always fans before they're hating, and they're always paying
hating
before they claim I own them.
like him.
You can't fool all the people all the time, Paul. That's evident.
Well,
Keep yapping,
Cynthia,
and convicting yourself, goofy bitch. You got to be you and keep living how you live.
Keep throwing your little temper tantrum.
You don't get out of this without facing yourself and the truth, dummy. Keep lying online.
For 1 second. He thinks I'm simping and hating, Paul. I'm just doing exactly what you fucking do. I'm in character. I put my vibe high so I can fucking put my energy exactly
You're
where you're at.
wrong. Now your arrogance and ego showing. You tried to do what I do and you made a fool of yourself. I do what I do and you show your foolishness.
Hear him out.
Hold on.
Let's see where he's going.
I can't do it, Paul. You're brilliant. I can't do what you can do in this metaverse.
And you're surrounded by people who are not.
Well, okay, that doesn't matter. Let me just tell you what I
That's
mean
the uncomfortable truth of the situation. I'm bright and brilliant, and you are surrounded by people who are not.
For God's sake.
Go ahead and talk. Hopefully you
All right. All I was saying is that I have to put my energy up. I'm always super calm. I don't get triggered like that. He thinks I'm triggered. I'm not triggered at all. I'm going to show him exactly how he talks to people when he gets in his feelings. So the first question I asked was, would you do better if there was no other panel but you? He said his show was always better. I get that. But Paul, was it your plan from the beginning to have different panels, different characters? This way, no matter who comes on Jack, from whoever Jack's connections are, TML's connections are, Joe's connection, they will also help you out. It's a community, it's a circle. Anybody from TML, anybody from Jack, anybody from Joe, any panel's gonna give you more fucking views when you know exactly what you're doing. Don't act like you're stupid. I'm very good in business and I know how this works, especially in marketing.
May I speak?
Well, please allow Paul.
You made absolutely no sense anywhere. I lost 3/4 and more of my audience. I got put on a certain list of not to be dealt with because they thought I went off the deep end. They all hit me up. I could show you the communications. Or DeCastro even came to me. He goes, "What are you doing?" And I go, "Well, bro, I'm doing what kind of is close to my heart. I kind of want to do community. Better yet, it's not even what I want. I think we need to do community." So I kind of put my wants and feelers aside. And then I showed up here and I opened a panel and you guys taught me something. Exactly what you just said, that I'm a brilliant genius and the majority of folks are not. And then I've had to figure out ever since what to do with that. So you think that I'm egoic? Hello?
He does, Joe. He does. He really believes that. That's this is why
I almost got through with one statement. I almost got through with one explanation. You seem to think You seem to think I'm
No one
prideful and
thinks you're a
egoic about this
victim, bro.
revelation when the old saying goes, a man who is proud of his intelligence is like a condemned man who's proud of his large jail cell. I am alone.
Well,
Okay, bye-bye.
that's right, Paul. You've created a cell where
He
you
is a
believe you are
god.
alone.
Dude,
Now, let me
Yes.
envy you.
dumbass.
He is
I'd
so
rather
much
hear
better
wizard
than
right
everyone
now.
else.
Pero wanted to jump in. Please.
We're given names the day we're born,
Oh,
whether it be Jack, Joe, whether it be Jack, Joe, Cynthia, Paul, Tarek, Keith. And those are names just like fat bitch or snitch. And I'm here to tell you, you can call me a snitch and I will agree with you. The difference is that the one I snitch to is our Father in heaven. And I snitch because people are violating our children, not because they're violating me. May you be blessed.
fuck you.
And I gotta say
Sorry,
one
Jack.
thing.
I was on mic there. Jennifer's just kind of, regularly
Yeah.
shocked about how much of a low life Cynthia the pig is, but
I don't give a
Here
fuck
we go.
just
about
so
what that
regular.
dumb
We're
bitch
going to,
thinks.
like,
Any
roll
dumb
like
bitch
shit.
that sleeps on a couch for you is a dumb bitch.
Yeah, I don't know why he keeps going back to attacking women again. That's not going to look good for you, Paul. But here's my question to you
Right,
about the fucking.
so I can't bring out what she just did and what she says regularly,
Oh,
but she
bring
can go
it
ahead
out.
and
I
attack
did it. I did it in
Jennifer.
front of
You're the
See,
man.
you
No,
double
you
and
still
triple
pointing
I did
at
it
her.
standards.
to your
See,
face,
Hey,
Paul.
Paul. I
hey,
did it to
Simp.
your
the
face.
same
Hey,
way your
Mr.
pain
Captain
going best. When she
Savaho.
does this wrong, when you does this
Mr.
wrong.
Simp, you didn't check her on how it's inappropriate for her to attack Jennifer.
I didn't
Everybody
hear
gets
it. Like,
attacked on
You've
this
been
panel.
attacking
Isn't that how
Jennifer
it
for
goes?
months. You said
Okay.
nothing
You brought
about
her
that.
up. You
Jennifer
brought her
doesn't do
name
a
up.
between a
broadcast.
woman and a woman.
Jennifer
Let
doesn't
her
appear on
talk.
this
Doing it during the
broadcast.
game.
Why has she been
You
talking
brought her
about
name
Jennifer
up,
on
so
all her
you brought her
broadcasts
into the
and
game.
degrading her?
Everybody can fit in
And
this
there
game.
we
But
go. We
see,
can't get
Lance,
any
this is
accountability ever
exactly
here.
that
It's
shit
like
we was talking
batting
about
1,000
earlier,
here for lack of
Lance.
accountability and double and triple standards. It's fascinating.
I never heard her say anything about Jennifer. If she did, it's wrong. Again, I don't agree with
You
Cynthia on a
didn't
lot
hear
of
it.
things.
Yeah, there you go. So you didn't hear it, so it didn't happen, but you're going to speak on what you did hear, presuming nothing else happened. The rallying cry
What
of
I'm
a
saying,
fool.
Paul,
And that's
is
the
Say it
same
again,
person who
please,
gets
Eric,
beat up
because
at
I
every
will.
prison. Speaking
I'll
on
say it
shit
again,
they
please,
haven't heard the whole story about.
Well,
what I'm
that's
saying to you is I don't agree with Cynthia, but I never talk about her fucking way or her fucking pussy or whatever fucking shit you talk about Venus and them and all that
Right. You
bullshit.
don't talk about any woman and
Even
what
if I
they
heard
do and don't do.
anything
You just
against
glide
them,
right
no,
over that
don't
because you're
go
a
to
simp
that
trick.
level.
okay. There's
What
a
I'm saying
balance.
is that's
Tarek,
disrespectful.
Tarek, thank you.
Yes.
There's a
That's your
balance
name, Trick
between
Dick.
the two. There is a balance between the two, between being kind, being polite, courteous, respectful, and sharing what is true. Now, these platforms, it gets a little muddied, right? Because we're having fun and content, and things happen. But behind the characters of the content, we are people, and we're learning how to be ourselves. And every day with different people, we learn different things, right, about ourselves and the world. So
Well, we learned
Yes.
a lot about a lot of folks here.
today
I
has
would love to
been
help you out with this when you're ready.
today has been a beautiful day, but what has the underlying theme of what we're dealing with, it is the ego, right? We like to believe we don't have the pride, and all of us, we
do
have
like to believe that, but yes, you're right.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
holy fuck, no one's crazy enough to really think they're better than others.
Right. And then some of us show a service to others repeatedly and others just talk about it.
Right. I think I've made it clear how I feel
Gotcha.
about him. I mean, and I've stuck to it, and I always will. So you can sit here and talk about, oh, we've seen the true characters of this and that. I'm not.
Tarek, I'd like to respond.
Cynthia,
Tarek,
I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
it's me, Yolanda. I just wanted to tell you that I think that it's really an interesting thing to hear you come up here be frustrated about this. And coming from all of the interactions that we've all had with one another, to me, this is a growing experience as a unit. And it means that there's boundaries, right? It's healthy to have boundaries. And so for you, it's a no. It's a no that women are being talked about a certain type of way. And for him, it's a no for other subjects. I'm just using this example right now. It's a no for you. And
I totally agree.
And I also want to say that any man or any woman that is truly in love and that has had a healthy experience with both sexes would never refer to their partners as the name that you are referring to. So when I hear a man say, my bitch, oh, hell no, you will not be having any of this.
Can I ask you a question?
No, you really can't. I'm not done.
I didn't think you would do accountability. That's a common theme here. Okay.
I'm not done because you've had the opportunity to
pussy
speak
power. Stank puss
You
power.
don't know anything about pussy.
Let's get that stank puss power.
Any woman that is okay with that is being referred to as a dog should really be questioning.
What if I refer to myself as a dog too?
Please let her finish. And
what if I got the dog in me and she's got the bitch in her? What if it's equality again? Showing its ugly head.
I guess then my response would be that culturally, I understand that slang.
No, you don't, because you've never lived it, goofy bitch. You're talking about something you have.
Yolanda is the sweetest lady on this panel.
Oh,
and
she's
he
the
can still
fakest lady.
attack her. It's in him. It's just in him. He's a demon.
Cynthia, see, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me.
It does.
But it doesn't bother me. I've already experienced this with these people, and I've learned to have a stronger armor over these people. And I've also learned what are no's for me and what are boundaries. And this topic that Tarek is referring to, obviously, I'm going to guess that when you attack another person and tell them that they're in their mama's spirit, or and you want to put a person down for that, is the most ridiculous thing, because guess what? We all come from a womb. Who are we kidding here? When Paul becomes a father, I really sincerely doubt he would call that mother a goofy bitch for his bitch. Because it is the most beautiful thing.
And then explain it to the kid why it's okay, that would be just
so
brutal.
that's where I come again with, this is a growing time. And people who are younger, I want to say anyone who's in between the ages of 20 to 35 can't stand it when an elder says things like that. But guess what? Any elder that's still behaving like what we're seeing right now has some major issues, because you have to grow past this shit. But don't feel, none of you men that get accused of that from him for being in your mama's spirit, bless every single one of you that those were good experiences and that you were blessed with that nurturing.
And Yolanda, can I answer something? Reply back to your compliment in your phrase. Here's the thing. I do agree with Paul on a lot of things. I never said that I don't. In terms of the truth, how he speaks, when he gets in his energy, he's brilliant. He's very, very, very good at that.
And you have to practice.
The only thing I don't agree. Yeah, I don't agree with the fact
that totally like playing power games with me.
I'm a brand new guest. I'm here from Germany, and I only see one.
Jack. We're Jennifer.
I only see one man with papers. That's JoeMfknCool. JoeMfknCool is the only one I see with the papers.
Great stuff. This will be my last time here for like at least a couple weeks.
You've said that.
There you go, Jack. I've helped you with the paperless loser.
Oh my God.
Healthy. HELLTHY. Healthy.
All right, we got it, Paul. Thank you.
No, we didn't get anything. She just said a whole bunch of nonsense there, and I didn't even get to respond. And that's the way you all like it. It's called an echo chamber.
All right, go ahead, respond. I was talking, but you interrupted me. Go ahead, respond.
Yolanda, well, she may not answer questions because she doesn't like accountability. Is she in a relationship with a man?
Paul,
Is it any of your
do you
business?
really
No,
think-
because all the women who keep
Okay,
telling
it's
men
not.
how to be
So then
men
why
don't
did
have
you
a happy
ask,
man at
dumbass?
home.
I'm
It's
not
amazing.
trying
Just
to-
like all the
So now
simps who
you're
appeal to the
deflecting.
broken bitches don't have a real bitch
So
at
hold
home.
on, he's
What do you think
deflecting.
of
I'll play
that?
his game. He's
You have
deflecting.
an old lady who
You
bows
ain't got a
down
dog.
to you 'cause
You
she's
ain't got a
insecure.
dog at home, and then beta boys ain't got a real bitch at home, and
Please,
it's
I
that
got real
simple.
men in my life, boy.
Yeah, we could tell. You're trying to act like all the real fake gangsters that you came from over there with Trig. We know what you think a real man is, clown.
Okay, please. All right. We can all improve, especially the men. We can improve our definition of what it means to be a man.
Hey,
right?
Jack,
Yes, brother.
is it possible that there aren't this many coincidences and that maybe I'm just right?
Right about talking to
Like every
certain
time
people.
you
in a
ask
certain
them,
way,
hey, do you
no?
have a man? You never see a man in their life. They have no significant other, but they keep talking about the woman who's been with me for over a year and a half. They keep
That has
projecting on
nothing
her
to
what
do.
she. Why do you
Well,
keep yapping, bro?
Out of all honesty, no one would be picking her up if you didn't talk.
The point is you're talking from an experience you're not having. You don't even have the option to have it. Because again, no real man and successful man is going to deal with a woman who's acting like this, who thinks like this. And no real woman who's going to be down for you in the long haul is going to get what a beta bitch who simps on broken hoes. It's a simple
Okay.
equation.
I don't
So,
even know what that means. I just tried
That's
to
okay,
follow
Yolanda.
you
Let me
with
answer.
the definitions.
Hold
I didn't
on.
even know what the fuck you just
Yolanda,
said.
let
Did you
me
guys
answer
hear
for
what he
1
said?
second.
Like, there's so much
Slow
lingo
it down. Take it
and
0.25 and listen to it again. I've only been talking this shit for a year and a half, and you've been missing all the good game while defending your nonsense, horrible results.
So,
Don't assume the worst, please. People
No,
are
you
I
showed
know.
me the worst. I've
Well,
accepted
No
it.
problem.
no,
So,
you see the worst, but
if that's the case, Paul, today somebody, Rand, asked you, did you have kids? You said no. He told you, well, you don't know how it feels. You
You
said no, I
presume that I'd be
disagree with
walking
you.
around the house. You presume that I'd be
Well, you
walking
done?
around the house. Very good. You presume that you got a few words out there. Very good. Joe Cool's like encouraging.
Yes, I was asking.
I don't
He's
care
very
about who's
encouraging.
encouraging.
So you
You're playing
presume
the
as if I
same
do
game,
now.
Paul.
You presume as if I do now in my life, or as if I would walk around the house going, "Hey, yo, bitch!" Like I'm DMX. Hey, yo, bitch,
I
get me
never
some
said you
coffee.
do. But
I'm
you just
illustrating
gave
an idea,
Yolanda an
bro.
example that
Stop
you been
yapping.
asked
Stop
earlier.
yapping. You're in your field. Stop yapping. I'm giving you good game for
Well,
free.
Go ahead. I'm not into my feelings. Go on.
I'm speaking about an idea that I know is triggering, and I purposely allow myself to go into that mode. It's an aspect of self. You can't deny it. There's an animal
Yes.
component to our being. Okay. He just can't shut his fucking bitch ass mouth.
Paul,
Go
you
ahead,
seem
Paul.
to be a bit sensitive.
This is
to-
why you all ain't gonna do well if you ever get put in that camp you're all going to, because you can't shut your bitch ass mouth and listen to motherfuckers who have firsthand
The floor is
experience.
all yours, Paul. Go ahead.
Holy
Finish
cow.
so we can talk.
This is where you and I do part ways. You're focused on the negative, man. You're foreseeing these
It's a
camps.
reality, Jack. It's not for you because
Hey,
you don't leave
Paul,
the house, but some folks have
right.
to go to jail
Paul,
sometime, and there's a
Paul,
reality
damn it.
there you may have to
Paul,
deal with.
Paul, damn it. The reason I'm on here, unlike you, Paul, I'm not here just to serve my ego. You claim to be insulting and to be harsh and disrespectful. You claim that that's for a purpose, but brother, you're not being honest. You really are not. Because if you were confident in what you were doing, if you had faith in yourself and what was happening, you'd be fixated on the success of you and the success of others, because you would know that what we're doing matters. You would know that what we are doing has potential to truly change the lives of other people.
That's the thing. You're still talking from an experience you haven't had. I've already changed the lives of other people. You have yet to do that, and except in a negative.
Damn it, Paul. You want to keep comparing yourself to those in my family? Well, you're fucking right. You don't know my experience because you keep looping in your damn narrative that is untrue. And praise God, man.
And not to mention, Jack, why he continuously likes to throw that in your face is just I'm going to go ahead and refer to Snafu Snaps on this one. Like, this app is making all of us attack one another and use the time. I recently did a stream on my own, okay? And I was restreaming and laughing and having fun and joking around at all of you guys. And I had somebody, a critic of mine, a friend of mine, say, "What in the fuck are you doing? You just put the biggest shit stain all over your channel by bringing those people up and showing what you did." And I got really frustrated with myself because I thought, you know, I never really thought about it that way, because I've been really analyzing and paying attention. And he says, "You're not analyzing. You sound like a fan." And then I thought, good Lord, you know, if that's the way this person's thinking about how I'm coming across as being petty, right, by engaging in this stuff, at what point I'm going to go back to boundaries, which is
so what are you wait well, so what are you saying? That person was correct or incorrect? You're saying
I think that person was correct for bringing it to my attention. Like, what are you doing with you by going and entertaining yourself by people being so harsh and disagreeable with one another? You know, like
you mean like hanging out in drama rooms?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
okay. On the road, okay.
So I'm really not entertained by this anymore. I think it's really gross. It makes me feel gross when I hear people talk like this to one another and about one another. I appreciate you bringing up the people that you did today, Jack. You did, as usual. Thank you for having a space for people to all be able to come up and have a conversation with each other. Paul, I mean, no disrespect to you. These are just observations, and I 100% could be wrong. But these are just conversations that adults can have with one another without them having to fly off of the handle every time they want to engage in a conversation. Like, the frequency of your voices, when that happens, no one can even hear what you're saying, because it's vibrating in the microphone in such a way that we can't even hear. So,
and Yolanda, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's the reason why I put my voice up. I wasn't angry. I was trying to show him exactly how he talks to people when he's over talking, because he does have a loud voice. He is compassionate. He is, you know, whatever the case, he's vocal. I get that. So he's always going to have the upper voice when he gets a little mad, but that's what he does. So that's not right.
I'm not meaning to criticize. It's just an observation that the audience.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Thank you, Jack. I'm going to go ahead and jump down. Good luck, everybody, and have a good evening.
You too.
Yolanda, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate your presence and what you offered and shared. The observations came from care, genuine care and wisdom is what I heard. And thank you.
I appreciate that. That was my intention. Thank you, Jack. See you guys around.
Hey, we are a few hours in, and I do think it's been kind of a long day. We've had, actually, not to keep beating a dead horse, but I do want to, Tarek, I imagine today could have been uncomfortable for you, because I know your admiration of Paul is pretty clear, right? I don't think there's any doubt in that. So for you to have for you to stand up to someone you admire so much and have that critical conversation, I see the courage in you. That's a good show of a man.
You should be able, Tarek, to just say what you feel. Paul, I think you are wrong for calling women these names.
Yes.
And he be able to address it without it elevating to crazy shit. I'm sure you were aware that when you had a critique, you know, it was going to come down on you. Sure,
and Joe, I totally agree with you. Like, again, it comes from, like Jack said, the place of love. Of course, I love Paul and everybody on the panel, and I care for him, and I stand on that truth that he speaks. But even him, if he's wrong, and my beliefs or my whatever stands on those boundaries, I gotta say something. I'm sorry. I held back a little bit for a while, but sometimes you gotta say something when it gets too much.
I dig it, bro. I think it's brave.
You
I
know,
think it's growth.
like how
I'm
would
gonna
you feel
cut
if
out
somebody starts talking about your mom that way? I mean, is that okay? Like in some other culture or tribal, you wouldn't be alive if you talk about somebody's mom. They're just popular.
If we're being honest, I don't like to talk to you gentlemen that way. I try not to use names and shit when I'm talking to you. I think it's bad form. To be honest, woman or man. But that's maybe how I feel.
Hey,
I don't get it. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Respect. That's what I was just gonna say. Let's start shutting it down if we can. I've got a couple others in the back, but
Bye, Jack. It's been fun.
Thank you, Cynthia.
I hope that people understand that I feel about certain people. This isn't a decision that I make overnight. This is observations and the conclusions I draw to. I understand that it is not the same view that other people share, and that is okay. That is what makes everyone individuals. You don't have to think like I think, and I don't hate you if you don't think like I think. I don't dislike you if you don't think like I think. But I'm asking you to allow me to be me. And if you have a problem with that, y'all need to check yourself. I appreciate you, Jack. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Cynthia, thank you, my friend. Sean, you were kind of quiet.
I was trying to figure out my sound issue, and this whole time I had the wrong sound fucking setting. So my fault. I titled my restream "Holding Everyone to the Fire," which I did the exact opposite of. I wanted to hold Paul to the fire. I wanted to hold Flow State, JoeMfknCool with his Chevrolet sponsorship that he's not even being paid for. Flow State with his Pepsi sponsorship, I'm sure he's not being paid for, and his Paul Mall, of course, sponsorship, I'm sure he's not being paid for as well. And I also wanted to ask how certain people could be allowed wrenches on this panel and on Paul's panel, even. I won't name any names, but I think one particular guy, he seems like a good guy at heart, right? But just I have this thing where I can't get over people who went along with the 2020, 2021 slavery campaign. It's really hard for me to like think there's any hope for them, because that was just a few years ago. We were talking not even 4 years ago, and here they want to come to a channel that claims to live without fear, or a channel that claims to be enslaved even, and they're moderated. Meanwhile, people like myself who've promoted their channel time and time again, people like who've made not me, but people who've made videos after videos who also have never had moderator. I mean, again, the wrench doesn't mean shit ultimately, but it's kind of like, the principle, right? And we're talking about principles, rights, freedom principles. And you're talking about live without fear. But certain people, a couple in particular, who, again, went along with the fear, promoted the fear, we're down with the fear, right? It just seems very counterintuitive, very counterproductive, counterintuitive, and hypocritical. And I know you're just doing the best you can, Jack, and this isn't even really about you. It's more about them. I mean, it is you as well. It's very much, and I'm far from perfect, so don't let me claim I'm on a high horse here. Not trying to be, but just trying to hold everyone to the fire, because I usually do the opposite. So I'm changing the tune a little here and experimenting, if you will.
Glad to hear. Thank you for joining. I appreciate your input and your observations. Today was an interesting one with the mods as the topic, but
any thoughts on what I mean, I know it's a lot to unpack there, so.
Well, I'd offer you, don't be so critical in your judgment. People change.
The thing you brought up, the slavery campaign of 2001 or
no, 2020.
Slavery wars or some shit.
The thing. You know the thing?
2000. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Okay. I see. Okay. I got it. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
The medical experimentation.
Right.
The machine lies from time to time, and that was a big one. That was a big
Well,
one. Probably the biggest one since 2001. You brought up 2001.
Yeah, that was a big lie of the machine for sure. Yeah, for sure.
It was the one that actually came 19 years after 9/11. They called it C-19, right? That one came after, war on germs, 19 years after the war on terror, 19 years after the war on drugs. You know the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And, you know, a lot of people make choices in life based on their circumstances, based on their awareness, based on their options they see available at the time. I try not to fault people for their choices of the past. I try not to fault people too much for much. I mean, part of this distrust, the excuses we find of reasons why we should distrust or why we should dismiss what someone else says. Guess what? Oh shit. It's late in the stream. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. Plausible deniability and willful ignorance. The connection between those two things, plausible deniability and willful ignorance. But I don't know why I just thought of those things. Anyway, we should wrap it up. Thank you, Sean. I'm going to continue on.
Blessings. Peace.
We got some more in the back too, but
Jack, I'll make it short and simple. I know we had a long day. All I want to say is thank you for having me on. And Paul, brother, I love you. I stand by 90% pretty much what you say on the truth and what you stand for. But one thing I will not ever tolerate, and I think it's very disrespectful, is to call anybody, I don't care if it's Venus, Cynthia, whoever it is, to call them names and talk about their bodies and that stuff. That's just out of line. So maybe think about that for a second and stop being so narcissistic and egoic. Besides that, love you all. And Machine Lies, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Much love, Tarek. Thank you, brother. I've got a couple of agents in the chaos in the back. I may entertain them, but I'm not going to make you suffer through those.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine to have them there.
Are you all right?
Yeah, it's
all right.
fine.
Well, I'm going to save the last words for you, I think. Paul was in the back. He's continued on. I was going to offer him some of the last words.
This is perfect. Just who I wanted on the panel. The machine, like Tarek made a comment about you.
Yeah, go ahead and get them.
Tarek made a comment about Machine Lies, false as fuck, right? Remember when you got called out for your fake Muslim guru optics and you started cussing and screaming and yelling and your wife ran away from you and then you got even more triggered? So TML has actually showed his emotional triggered cupcaked optics as well. He's not the whatever. But Jack, I gotta say I'm disappointed because as I sat
Wait, hold on. You can't just move on from me because you were talking about the cupcake optics or whatever. So you called out by who? What are you talking about?
When was that called out? You blocked me from your shit. Dude, you did exactly what Tarek said you've never done.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
You fucking freaked out like a hoe. And you
remember? I remember you yelling like a little bitch on my panel talking about like whatever you wanted to talk about, but it wasn't the topic that you wanted to talk about. You wanted to talk about, how you have a problem, how I have a problem with whatever personal issues. So, it's not that time, I had other issues I wanted to cover. So, it is what it is, Snafu, nobody's mad at you, but not everybody has time to engage because it's time to shut it down. And you had your personal complaints about whatever you wanted to say. It's fine, but your personal problems are nobody's concern for real at the moment. But really what it was a panel on showing your hand, playing your card. And I briefly mentioned, Benjamin Franklin, and him kind of, showing his flaws among many people and the self-deprecating nature, the false humility, that people project around and trying to act like, they're exposing people or, some type of thing. We just saw that type of thing. Well, the video's still up and everyone can judge for themselves if anyone was exposed there. You know what I mean? My last argument with the Snafu Snaps character, it was a compelling sequence of events, but none that actually related to the issues. But that's what it is. It's about subversion, in terms of political and mental, and the game is about symbols. And the use of two things, one is rhetoric, and the other is logic. And both things are being used to delude people. One is how things are being said, and the other is the content of what's being said. And of course, as I talked about on my show, in the philosophy of language, you can override the use of symbols by layered use of contextualization, and you could make words mean almost anything you want. You could make things escape definition, and you can judge people by their reactions, but that's not really the full nature of what's actually being said or what's going on. So as long as we focus on what's on the surface, that's all we really get. You know what I mean?
Amen. And people have been conditioned to be very superficial, it seems. But welcome, Lou.
Hey, Jack.
Good. Yes.
I hope. Can you hear me okay? Do you want me to get closer to it, or is that okay?
No, your shit's kind of crackly, but it's okay. We can still hear you pretty much. Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it. It's my phone. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but yeah.
Maybe if I unplug it, hold on. I came upon this idea kind of late in the podcast. That's why I don't have the whole thing finished, but I wrote a little story, and it's not vulgar. It's not. I'm not trying to.
He's gonna try to clown you with his story.
I'm gonna ad-lib the last part of it.
I already know what it's gonna be.
I promise you, Jack. It's not to offend you. It's not to.
No,
it's just an idea that came to my mind, and if it resonates with you, you can think about it. If it doesn't,
I'm going to judge by the patterns that are originating out of your mind. I'm not really interested at this time, Lou.
Yeah, but he's a funny guy. I like his funny. He's funny. Yeah.
He is a funny guy, and he's got some pretty fun stories. But Lou's another one, not quite as slanderous as OTW and some of the others have been, but Lou's right along there with many others. My patience, my patience is layered based on the value I see. What potential is there for me to sacrifice my time and attention for these other beings? Because life is precious. Time is short. Hey, speaking of, we got to get back into another conversation soon. We keep saying it, and I haven't followed through in the actions, but conversation on space, right?
Yeah, I have your back on that one.
Yeah, let's get to that.
I have taken a significant amount of notes on it, but yeah, I can expand on that. I'm pretty sure.
Let's do it
on that. As we did one on time, you're gonna on the paradoxes of time, we're gonna do one on the complexities of space, and try to collapse these two notions of time and space in the modern age. These two paradigms, and try to get you guys to look outside of those things so that we can not deal with waiting for things to happen. As Jack says, the time for waiting for others is ended. Don't ask why if you know it's wrong, really. And really, at the end of the day, there's another notion about space, and about how we occupy our space, our memories, especially how space is tied to memories. I think that'll be a good way to introduce the topic for you guys, if you guys want to contemplate that, and we'll be bringing more about that. Bless you guys.
Amen. I'm going to toss you to the back, do some final words, and wrap this up. Thank you, my brother. Sincerely, all who joined the panel, the chat, the stream today, and sincerely, my heart, my appreciation to everyone who showed up. Paul Unslaved, he's a strong man. He was the topic of much of the conversation today. I'm grateful he was here. Absolutely grateful. His presence was a big part, I think, of being the topic of the conversation. But that was in part to my choices earlier today and yesterday. But life is what is happening. And one thing leads to another. And all of the past days, they brought us to today. And what was today? Today, I feel today was pretty eventful. There were a lot of minor events in the revelations of what was shown. The authentic people being authentic about what they feel, what they know. We talked about a lot of different things about the connection of facts and feelings, and the connections of feelings and the truth and life, the power of truth. And then all those things combined of really kind of accepting the hand that you're dealt, but capitalizing on it, making the most of the game making the most out of the cards you have been dealt, and realizing that, the stacks are the adventures. We're collecting adventures while we are here, experiences. We're collecting experiences and memories. Those experiences and memories, they bring forth a wisdom that it's irreplaceable. There's nothing stronger, more powerful than the wisdom that comes through experience. And that, my brothers and sisters, that is what is happening in life. Life is this gift that God, our creator, the one source of all the universe and all that is, there's a connection to everything and all that ever was and all that ever will be. And it's all here and now. Life is happening in the here and now, and in the here and now of what we do today, in each moment of each day, what we do in the here and now today, the words we say, the beliefs we think, right? What we learn today is going to affect our behavior tomorrow. So it's all just one big happening. Don't get too caught up in the things that were, or in the things you thought they were. What is most important is what is happening in the here and now, with the purpose and the focus and the intention of a greater world in the future. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, those of you who are joining with me, and I feel there are many, it is growing. I will ask, please do your part to join with me and be a part of helping this grow, this idea, this movement, that a greater world, a better world, a world of love and authentic trust, truth, right? Some authentic leadership in the organizations, some authentic leadership in our communities, some authentic leadership. I'm speaking to you men. Some authentic leadership in our households, right? We can all do a better job together as men and women, creating a safer space for the women, for the children to be, right? To be who they are, and for men to be who they are. It all starts with knowing ourselves. I guess I kind of drifted around a little bit there at the end, but brothers and sisters, sincerely, all of you who joined the panel, the chat, participated in the conversation and the experience of now, and those who join at a later date, sincerely thank you. I appreciate this experience. I have said it for those who are interested. I'm going to redirect it to flow state, even though last time it was flow unslaved. And maybe, hopefully, when Paul and I learn to communicate and cooperate a little better together, and admittedly, when, there's safe spaces for us to be who we are, when we grow and learn together, which we're growing and learning together here on YouTube. It's so amazing, so fascinating, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this. This is something special. The point is, when we learn how to grow together and cooperate together, man, we are going to create some pretty powerful stuff. That's what I believe in me. brothers and sisters, tune in again next time. We'll see what happens on the next stream. And it's Friday night. Enjoy, be safe, and peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. God bless us all, and thank you.